everybody, welcome to this channel. I am Kim Copeland and this is channel Medium Kim. It's Friday night, it's pouring down, cats and dogs, lightning, thunder in central Texas. So I hope wherever you are, you're having good weather. I have been distracted this week with a really fun class that Susan and I are teaching and just preparing for it. And then we had a practice session tonight. It was really wonderful. Loving it. I think everybody's loving it. We're finding power. The power in the group is amazing. You know, because you build up when you meet with a group, it does elevate everybody. It's powerful. That is powerful. So we're working on the clairs, and we have other classes to come too. If you ever want to join us. And I want to just show off a little bit about this new shawl that I have. Thank you, Molly, my dear friend. She knitted this and it's gorgeous. Oh, and I thank you. So I so appreciate it. Can't even imagine how much work this takes to make. And this week I also had landscaping. So I actually have a garden. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And next week I will talk about spiritual meaning of some plants. And of course I'm going to go into the plants that I planted, and we'll talk about some of those plants and the spiritual meaning. I believe every plant has a spiritual meaning. So we'll talk about that. Tonight we're going to finish the story about the man who passed on Sunday. I'm going to go into a little more details about that. So it's a hospice story and also some energy medicine techniques to help you keep your own energies when you're in a group. And yeah, just to keep your own energies, protect yourself. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is on Sunday when I went to go see a man. He was in his 70s. He has had pancreatic cancer, and he and his wife had been married 40 years. He was on his last breath, basically, when I saw him. His respirations were down to 8, very shallow. You couldn't see him breathe hardly, and heart rate was in his 50s, which is really low for the last phase, and his oxygen saturation was in his 50s as well. All those numbers were really low, like any moment, and he'd been this way since the middle of the night, and I was there around noon. Okay, so the family asked help, what I could do to help, and so I offered some energy. Well, what I call it is a healing touch, which as a nurse, healing touch is a more recognized form of touch. And it is, I am certified level 4 in that as well. So it's something people can accept easier than maybe the words energy medicine. So anyway, no matter what, so when they said it was okay to do that, and they said it was okay also to tell him it was okay to go. So sometimes it takes another person outside of the family that they'll listen to, just like in every day, right? When you have a partner and they tell you something, you're like, no, not till your friend or a stranger tells you, then you'll believe it, but you may not believe it from a partner or a family member. So it's kind of the same when somebody's trying to pass, that they need a little bit of authority to go, okay? So anyway, what I did was when I checking his energy field with the healing touch techniques, scanning his body over the heart, I felt a beautiful sacred church, and it reminded me of an ancient Roman Catholic church. It was very gold, and I felt like the steeples were very high, and for some reason that's what I felt when I felt into his heart chakra. So I get a lot of visions, and then when with the chakras, each chakra has a different meaning, different theme to it, but the heart is an important one when somebody's transitioning. I usually think of the heart as holding on, because here we are in the, it's about love, right? Love and compassion and the attachments to earth. So I really focus on the heart when somebody's in transition. Anyway, so I felt that, and I, told the family, and they told me that he was raised Catholic. I didn't know this, but he was raised Catholic. Although he wasn't a practicing Catholic, it had been probably since he was a boy, that he had been to a Catholic church. Although he was working in a church, but he wasn't participating in religious services. Okay, so then when I felt that, and you're sort of just feeling into that, and I sometimes I listen to the energy. I can sometimes hear a whoosh kind of a thing when I'm getting close to the energy. And by the way, it's starting to really pour here. Okay, as I was listening, I heard a little girl, and I know I said this in the last video, I heard a little girl say, Donnie, hi Donnie. And I just felt like she was so excited to, and I felt like she was on his right side. I was on his left side, and it was really loud and palpable was her enthusiasm for him. And it did sound like a little girl. And I just told this to the family. I said, wow, there's a little girl. And I hear her saying, hi, Dami, hi, I'm here, Dami. And so they told me, amazingly, the story that she died when she was 7. This was his little sister, apparently. He was 8, and he saw her burning much burned to death, and he witnessed this, and it affected him for the rest of his life. Never ever got over it. So I know he had a lot of regrets around that. Never had any therapy, never, just never got over it. So his biggest regret in life was that happening, and he could not save her. Yeah, despite his trying to. It was a tragic event. She was moving. Her mother had told her, she was in her pajamas. Her mother told her to turn off the burner and move the tea kettle over. And she did, but what happened was she didn't have the burner off. She probably turned it up instead of down. She put her hand over there. Her nightgown caught on fire, and that was it. So, okay. So there was that. And so the family was very comforted to know that she was there. And plus we talked a little bit about who else might be there as well. It was a wonderful family. So then I go down to the feet. At the feet, I believe, and we need a little push off, a little grounding, especially if you've been in bed a long time and you haven't touched the ground. So if you can if somebody, a person like us or a family member can put your hands on their feet. So let's just say here's the foot. This is the sole of the foot. I like to put the back of my hand against the sole. You can do that, or you can use your fingers to where that, the K1 or the center of the foot, where like the ball, just below the ball of the foot, and touch there. Or like I said, you do this. The reason you do this on this side is because this is the south side of your foot or hand. The sole, remember sole is south, and this is the north. So it's a very good connection that way. And so it's very grounding, very comforting. So, if you imagine a dancer, a ballet dancer she can't just leap from the air. She has to, or he has to touch the ground to leap off. And that's how I feel it is about the dying process and transitioning, moving on into the other world, is you have to have a bounce off to go. So I do that, and I hold him. As I was holding his feet, the bottom of his feet, I heard the words, I'm scared. And I heard it like 2 or 3 times, I'm scared. And I said that to the family, and I said, I think he's scared. And his wife said, that's what he told me like a couple days ago, he's scared. So, when somebody's scared, Sometimes you have a little medicine, like a little anti-anxiety medicine, or sometimes you can just hold their head and reassure them. So there's a few ways to help the scared. It's not comfortable to be scared, as you can imagine, and sometimes it does take a little medicinal boost here. And we did give him a tiny bit of a medicine, and although he passed within 10 minutes, so the medicine hadn't even soaked in. So I believe that also we all again told him with an affirmative, it's okay to go, with a very strong, it's okay to go now. You may go now. And within 10 minutes, sometimes it happens right away. And in this case, it took him a few minutes, and then he left. So I just wanted to share that with you. I thought it was beautiful, especially about meeting his sister. She was there. I'm imagine that was an amazing reunion. One more thing I want to tell you about this is about a minute before he took his final breath, and I was in the other room, but his daughter was there, and his wife were there, and they saw him. They said the the look on his face was like they had never seen before. And they said, I've never seen that look. And he looked like excited and joyful. And I'm imagining, I bet you he was seeing his sister. Beautiful, right? I hope you think so. All right. Now, second part of this video, talking about how do you protect yourself when you're in an environment or next to a person you really don't want to absorb their energy. Maybe they're angry, maybe they're depressed, maybe they just don't feel well that day. So what are some things you can do for yourself to keep your energies to you and also build up a little bit of protection? So one thing is, know this. Our left side is our receiving side. Our right side is the giving side. So if we're sitting next to somebody that we don't want to absorb their energies, make sure you sit to the right side, because you're going to push off whatever it is, because this is your giving side. You won't absorb it as much if your right side is to that person. Now, obviously, if you want everything that person has to offer, sit on your left side to that person, and then you'll feel it in more. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing, and I've talked about this before over and over, is the weaving of the chakras and this hookup. So when I say weaving the chakras in front, from the root, which means the tailbone, all the way to the crown, and sometimes I go above because we have chakras above the head, we have chakras even below our feet. Weaving in front of with your hands, like knitting together like this, figure eighting together, figure eight. And I start below on the tailbone, but in front, so it's more like the pubic bone, making my way up, all the way up, and the top of my head, and I come down. That really is a good protection. And you finish it with third eye and belly button connected. So points on the belly button, point on the third eye. You hold in and up, and then that's another way to make your chakras stronger. It also connects your governing meridian in the back, your central meridian in the front. And you breathe, and you do it with me now if you want, of course. See how that feels? And you also may zip yourself up. So from the pubic bone up the central meridian, zip, lock it, and throw away the key. And do it maybe 3 times. And now you're zipped up for other energies. Okay, that's another tip. One last one. When you are in a circle, let's say you're in a group environment, everybody's at the end of this meeting or whatever, and you're going to hold hands and say goodbye or blessings in the circle or whatever it is. If you don't want to pick up other people's energies, you cross your hands and hold hands that way. And it doesn't, you know, it just is kind of, looks kind of natural, probably. You know, you hold your hands that way, and then you do everything just like you would do, and the energies will come right out of you, okay? They're not going to get stuck in you. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I think that was it. I'm going to just double check my notes here. And yeah, so I hope this helped you all. I hope you're having a great weekend, or it's Friday night and this probably won't go up until Saturday morning. I am working as my usual. I work on the weekends in hospice on Saturday and Sunday. I'm actually working on Monday as well. So blessings to you guys, and thank you for being here. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, and I send you so much blessings. Namaste.